Hi guys, Michelle here from Mandalary Gardens. So these are Agapanthus. They are sort of like purple, shades of purple and white. I think they're predominantly purple. There might be a couple of white in between, but not very many. I think it was more a case of 90% the blue purples and then 10% was white. Now these Agapanthus were just what was gathered from everywhere across the property. So there are tall Agapanthus and there are mini Agapanthus, so it's a whole variety, but I don't know what kinds they are. I have no idea. Like this one's a miniature. You can see the leaves are a lot smaller, so I don't know if it's white or if it's purple, but we're just going to mix them all together as they are now, as I think that's just going to be the easiest. I was contemplating leaving the white ones in the Labyrinth, but I think maybe we might just move everything. I think it's just going to be easier. So all these Agapanthus in the outer row, we'll move them as well. They're around the whole perimeter. Lots and lots of Agapanthus. We'll be able to colonize quite a vast area, which is maybe not a bad thing, because then we can cut out the weeds quite a bit there in the blue and purple garden. So that's quite an exciting thought, getting the blue and purple garden up and going. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. So Maniki will get started on this so long. He has started weeding and preparing the other side to bring the Agapanthus over. So what I'm thinking of is, at this spot right here, I want to create a circle. I want to use all those chunky bits down there to create a circle over here. Or I'm going to see how that goes. Maniki wants to go past and sees where wants to go past. Thank you. You guys going to put the stump in? Okay. Okay, let me show you what's happening over here. So this is an entrance up to the dam wall. So we've got this stump on the one side, and down there where the guys are going now is another great big stump. So I want to bring that stump, and Maniki has dug a hole over here, and they're going to bring the stump and put it over here so that we can enter between two stumps up onto the dam wall. So yes, we're getting a bit sidetracked in our Agapanthus video, but it's all things that need doing in the process of clearing up and getting everything looking good. So yeah, that's a bit of tough work there. That's a heavy stump. So he's dug a bit of a hole so that we can recess it slightly in, so we know it sits nice and secure in there. It's quite a bit of a deep hole, but okay, that's done. So they're getting it there. Yeah, it's very much a case of also arranging it so that it kind of like feels right. Yeah, actually I think that other side facing forward is going to look good, eh? No, yes, that side there with that like horn. I think that part is going to look nice sticking out this way. Just as you had it there now, kind of like felt a bit better. Wait, let me just see, yeah. I'm not feeling it that way. Yes. I think it must be shifted because when I look at this side, yeah, I think it shifted might be nicer. Yeah, that feels good, guys. Feels almost like the stump's got an eye and a unicorn horn. Okay. I think that's good, eh? Okay, so we're all done. Agapanthus all gathered together. They are looking good. We haven't planted them. I think what we might do is just to bring some soil and just pop it down between them rather than to plant them. The pathway, I want to get cardboard and put some form of mulch on top of the cardboard as a pathway between the Agapanthus. I've just packed them relatively close together, but we should be able to get a foot here and there in just to pull out weeds where we need to pull out weeds, but I'd rather have them closer together to get as much weed blockage out as possible. So they're looking quite cool against the backdrop of the log wall. I did put a couple of the bigger ones just here and there, just so that it breaks the sort of monotony of one size throughout. And then we've made it grow broader at the bottom there, so it spans out much broader that way. That's looking quite cool. I've kept the pathway relatively wide, that when the flowers sort of hang, they don't obstruct the pathway too much, so you just brush up gently. So that's looking quite cool. There's a lot of Agapanthus. And the circle is done. I'm quite happy with the way the circle turned out. It is sloped more towards this side, so from the high part of the land to the lower part over here. I'll see how that goes, because I do feel it tapers a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna watch how that goes as time goes on. Clary, that's my youngest daughter, had some Irish moss or Scotch moss. I'm not sure which one is which one. I never remember. That wasn't very happy inside her bedroom in one of her pots. I suppose it just wasn't enough sun there. So they are looking pretty dead. but there was a wink of greenery here and there, so I'm hoping that they will green back up. If not, we'll just have to look at getting some more. I did put quite a bit of clay. I sort of try to mix a bit of clay in between all the soil, in between the little chunks of cement, so that the soil can hold on to a bit more moisture, because the Irish mosses do like a bit of moisture. So I thought that might help a bit, especially when the summer months are really hot and it bakes quite a bit. I don't know how they're going to go, but yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So it's quite cool the way the 4 paths will all converge onto this circle. We did put lots of Plectranthus more. That one, okay, there was one over there, but we just sort of created this corridor more, because this whole lot here, that you can see looks a bit more wilted. That section there, that was where we sort of had stopped. So this whole lot here, we brought in more. Maniki dug them from all over the show and brought them over here. So that's quite cool, because that now creates this little section of corridor here, and then it sort of frames the circle, helps to frame the circle. So it frames the circle there, frames the circle here, and then the Agapanthus frame the circle there, and this little section over here on the end. So we'll lead off that way, off to the fairy forest. There's the stumps looking quite cool as well. Let's see if I can come from a bit more of a distance here. So that little offset will go up to the dam wall there. And then this pathway, I might look at doing some wandering dew for this pathway. There is a lot of wandering dew further along here, but this is one, yeah, it gets white flowers. This one doesn't get the blue flowers. Only thing is it's quite high, but we could cut it back. It might, I've got to see how it does in the sun. I don't know if it'll do well in the sun, but I did think to have a complete wandering dew pathway. Yeah, and then it'll just lead up and then onto our circle. So that'll lead onto the circle there. This pathway, I want to also do the wandering dew, so let it just come out of the Plectranthus and fill up the pathway there. I might lose the stumpery there. I'm not sure if I'm 100% happy with that there, but I'm going to mull it over. I think from a sake of maintenance, it's going to be easier to run the pathway along the wall of Plectranthus, as it'll just then be easier for cutting the Plectranthus to keep that trimmed back, and then also the wandering dew to literally like edge it, because then it'll only be one side that we would need to edge, and then just have from here where the Agapanthus finish, there where the stumps are, all the way and around the tree. Then that'll just all be garden bed over there. The stumps I'm feeling might be better maybe in the Treasure Cove garden with rocks and stumps, so a stumpery come rockery. Or I might possibly put maybe a few of the nice stumps even by the fairy garden section. That could also be quite cool. So those are the two ideas that I'm mulling over. But back to our pathway. So the Agapanthus are looking very cool. You can see here how it's broader going there. It actually gives you a nice sort of almost like a perspective, a view of perspective, where it narrows off into the distance. So it's a literal narrowing and then into the broader path. Yeah, so yeah, you got the little sort of corridor almost there as well. So that's looking quite cool, and I'm very happy with that. See a little bit over here. I might, yeah, take these away as well. I'm feeling like I want to take these few away and have the wandering Jew growing on this little section as well. Let's go down there. It'll just be easier, as currently now it's just little steps. The wheelbarrow can get up it, but it would be easier if it was just a slope. So I might leave these ones. You can see that's been opened a little bit more since the last video, so that gives you a bit of an idea. There is more underneath there, but there's a lot of work still to be done in clearing out this area. But you can see those ones open a little bit more that take you around on that side. So if we come from this side, you can see again that's where the Plectranthus stopped, and I stopped with stumps around about there. So the stumps, I managed to get a few more, which took us to the end there where the pathway, and then all this bundle here is new. So this little section is nice and enclosed. It feels more of a cozier little private section, that if somebody's walking on the other side, these people can play with the sticks and stones in peace. So I'm quite happy with how everything turned out. Oh yes, that's another thing that we sort of also did. We got a few more planted as well. They stopped about over there, so I did move those two over here, and I just shifted them further back and left a little bit of a gap there that we can still, a footpath just to trim back and weed where necessary. So this frames the edge of the half circle up to the end quite nicely as well. There's still a few more left, which I will put further along there. So yes, this is quite cool, our little corridor leading up to the path. I have a very cool, I'll just put a picture of that up, metal sort of pole thing with nice little filigree detail at the top, which I want to plant the pole over there, or maybe Seaton will make a base for me, and then put name boards up so we can have directions, so we know, okay, that path will lead to the orchard, that path will lead to the pool garden, this will lead to the strolling garden, and then that off to the fairy garden. So I thought that will be very cool for you as well. So that's some stuff done in the garden, and I'm quite pleased we're making progress. Not as fast as I want, but yes, every little bit done is a step towards the bigger goal. So thanks guys for watching. God bless and go well.